We have our third offensive lineman in our Notre Dame's top 25 most important players for the 2020 season list that we've put together here at blueandgold.com, and it is Jarrett Patterson, again, checking in at number 13, the center for the Fighting Irish. He was brought in the 2018 recruiting class, listed as an offensive tackle by Rivals, and takes over the center spot last year and had a solid season. Patrick, were you surprised to see a center over the two guards and Kramer and Banks, or is this about where you had him?
No, this is more in line with my rankings and where I had ranked Patterson above both the guards. And you definitely can't have a disaster there with snap issues and cadence problems and whatnot. And Notre Dame certainly won't with Patterson. But more so, it's just about what he can do and what he can do as a center. He's an athletic guy that allows him to be really creative in the run game with how they can use him on pulls or when he can get to the second level. Really good in pass protection, only 7 pressures, no sacks allowed in 497 pass blocking reps. That's according to Pro Football Focus. So it really just is as much about how good a quality of play Notre Dame got from its center spot last year, especially when it was kind of a big question when Patterson just kind of stepped in from having been a redshirt offensive tackle and won the job and hasn't let go. And definitely this is also kind of the spot where you're least confident in the depth that Notre Dame has here, and that Josh Lugg can play the tackles, both tackle spots, both guard spots. Center would be a little bit more of an adjustment for him in a spot that he hasn't really played as much yet. So more certainly of the value of what happens if you take him away there in the play with center too.
Yeah, don't underestimate the value of Josh Lugg. I think he can line up at receiver. Notre Dame needs. He's been such a good Swiss Army knife for the Fighting Irish. Patrick, obviously you're our beat writer. You cover everything that's going on with the football team, including kind of like draft buzz. A lot of, right after the NFL draft in April, it's like, well, here's the early lists for 2021. Has Patterson had much buzz for what could happen next April?
Yeah, there's definitely been some talk that he's a future draft pick at some point, whether that's next April or a couple of
Would be
years.
pretty early for him to come out
Right.
next
It'll
year.
only be his third year. He's redshirt sophomore or junior, whatever you want to call it. And at least in Notre Dame's terminology, he's a junior. So not necessarily sure that, he's going to be a 3 and done type of guy, but certainly someone that in his first year as a starter has had a lot of the baseline ability as an effective center and what makes a good interior lineman in the NFL. So I would think at some point, definitely it's a draftable type of guy whenever he decides to leave.